What's up, guys? Ricky here with another custom. And yeah, just kind of wanted to show you this custom work that I did on this Predator. So I typically don't do a lot of customizations on Predators because usually they look pretty good as is. But there was one I really wanted to try. So yeah, I've had this Predator. I think I customized it. Let's see, it's been a couple years now, maybe two, maybe almost 3 years actually. But I've only had this channel for years, so I thought I'd show it all to you guys. So kind of how this came to be. So this is the custom. Is right? We had the Golden Angel that came out, if you recall, and it came with two different helmets. Right? It came with the gold helmet, which I think looks really good, and his armor is gold. So I like the contrast there. And then he came with this bronze helmet, or this copper helmet here, which also looks really cool. The only thing is I didn't really like the bronze helmet with the gold armor for some reason. I know a lot of people did. I just didn't. So I thought, man, that's too cool of like a helmet or a head, biomask, I guess, to not use. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep this one with this one. And then I'm going to build a custom Predator to kind of go with it. But I need copper armor. So I was kind of looking around and seeing what I could utilize. And I decided to buy the AVP, let's see. It is the Hunter, I believe. AVP Hunter Predator. Not sure. So it was from the arcade game. And so it looked peach. So you saw it in the thumbnail when you watched the video. But I took it. It had flesh tones, and I was like, you know what? This is a good base. So let's do some customizing. And the armor with it was copper, or sorry, it was not really copper. It was more like a brown tan color. So what I did is I took some copper paint and I started painting it. So I wanted it to match. So it matches pretty good. I noticed there is kind of a flaw there on the biomask. I didn't do that. That came from the factory that way. But right, I wanted to kind of match the copper, and I wanted to see what tones I could mess with. So I was just kind of messing with different tones. This is kind of what I came up with. Now the only problem about this Predator is it was really affordable. That's why I bought it. I was like, okay, cool. The only problem is it had a lot of flaws with it, which I'm kind of bummed about, which I'll show you those real quick. So as we're looking close, so one of the flaws is like there's a lot of warped parts on it. So this is the little thing that opens here. So yeah, completely warped, which is kind of silly. Then also, leg is stuck in one position, and then also the side piece is warped really bad too. You can tell it looks ridiculous. So yeah, so that's the only bummer about this Predator, but I already had it, so I was like, whatever. So I decided to customize it, so I'll show you real close. So, so I wanted to be true with this. So you have the copper helmet there, and I decided to take a copper paint that I bought and basically kind of dry brush it over the top. It was already brown at his base coat, which was kind of nice. So I just kind of lightly put it on my brush, kind of put a light coat on the top, and then I black washed at the end, and that's why you can see, like, right, it looks pretty good. It's got kind of like a cool, like, old school look. Yeah, and I just think it looks really good. So the piping did break literally just yesterday because it fell off the top of my curio cabinet, but luckily I caught it, but that kind of came undone. But I kept some of the stuff original, so it came with like a green lace, and I was like, let's keep the green lace. That looks fun. Right, and just did kind of the copper tones throughout. And you can see, just decided to kind of keep that running. Anything that was armor, I decided to do the copper tones, which looks really good. I really like this cannon. This is a huge cannon for a figure. I think that's pretty cool looking. Looks good. And then the other big thing was the skin tone. So obviously the helmet or the mask. Sorry, not the mask. The head underneath the biomask is the same color, right, as him. But I didn't want to make him look just like this, right? That like highlighter color and then the green. I didn't want to just make another Elder. But what I want to do is kind of match it a little bit. So I did want to make some tones that kind of matched that, you know, head under the bottom. So just so it matches. It's going to look weird having a green face and then a weird colored body. So let me tell you what I did real quick. So what I did is I took a yellow first, and basically I watered down the paint quite a bit on this yellow, and I covered over it, right? So I covered over it with just a bright yellow first. And what's cool is the flesh tones had some airbrushing kind of throughout like the abdomen and the chest. So what happened is that actually shone through, and that looks really good. It looked like I did a lot of extra detail work, and I didn't. So I did yellow first. So you can tell, right? Yellow kind of throughout the base. You can really see it's really apparent on the neck. So the neck, that's where I went the most yellow. And I kind of did that throughout. And then after I was done with the yellow, I was like, okay, let's add some other tones. So I took a green, and I barely put any paint on it and just dry brushed. Just barely put green paint kind of on it and went over different spots, which looks really good. So kind of just went throughout, like I said, just little bits at a time. Nothing fancy. Just wanted to get some differentiation in the tone. So it's kind of yellow, greenish, almost like a swampy type color, right? Looks good. And then, like I said, and by doing that, like I still was able to show that airbrush tones kind of going throughout. Like you can see the legs, the abdomen, and it looks really cool. And then after that, I just did a black wash. So I did a black wash over the top, and yeah, let it kind of soak in a little bit, and it looks pretty good. So very cool. So yeah, and then I decided to kind of paint the staff a little bit too. So I went with copper and then silver, then black wash, and kind of left the wash on it instead of wiping it off, just to kind of give it like some older, I don't know, kind of tones, I guess. But yeah, so that's the custom Predator there. So I don't think I need to show you articulation. You know how articulation is for Predators, but pretty pleased with it. So here's kind of a cool side-by-side with the original Elder. And it was a fun way just to use that extra hat or that extra biomask. So it looks cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about it, if you like it, whatever. And yeah, and if you want to give it a name, I never named this Predator. So if you drop some pretty cool names in the comments, maybe I'll choose one to start calling it that. So feel free to drop it in the comments. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. And if you like this video, definitely hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. We're at 950 subscribers, I believe. So let's get us to 1,000 to start. And who knows, sky's the limit, right? And thanks again, and I will see you in the next video.